Christine and Dante is a side story taking place during the events of Feed, an Undead Horror Season 1, featuring the vocal talents of Kim White as Christine and Raym Hensley as Koffey. This podcast is enhanced by sound effects and ambient music to create an immersive atmosphere. Please enjoy. This is a work of fiction. Unless otherwise indicated, all the names, characters, businesses, places, events, and incidents in this podcast are either the product of the author's imagination or used in a fictitious manner. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. Warning: parental guidance suggested. Some material, such as graphic violence and the use of profanity, may be inappropriate for children under 13. Chapter 2: Brave New Horror. Christine.
And so you see, taking into account for wind resistance, density of the bullet, and velocity...
I don't need you to mansplain things to me, Koffey. I've been doing this since I was 14. I know the limits of my bow.
Do you now?
I do.
Audio documentation recorded for when I asked Christine's hand in marriage. To be edited.
What was that?
Oh, nothing. Hey, give that back, boy.
Dante, pull!
No!
Why you gotta be like this, Koffey? I'm not worth the trouble.
I think you're worth it.
Koffey's a really nice guy. He and I go way back. Problem is, we're too much alike. We change our hairstyle and colors like flavors of the month. We're notorious for getting into and out of trouble. We're both very competitive in our chosen sport. It's too much. With Dante and Riley, however, it's their differences that keep them in balance. I have a feeling they're going to be together for a very long time. As for me, I'm just happy with being Christine. I spent the next 2 days catching up with my parents. Dad was my archery coach and Mom was a school teacher. They are both retired, so they like to travel a lot. Something they didn't get to do while raising my brother and I. In fact, they would be leaving tonight to fly to Hawaii. We were supposed to go, but I ended up in jail and Dante offered to stay behind to make sure I didn't get into trouble. Well, any more trouble. So here I am getting ready for a party I didn't really want to attend. I figured I'd just pop in for a few, make small talk, and leave. Dante offered to tag along, if only to bear witness the inevitable rematch between Koffey and I. It's just a party, I had said, when my brother insisted I bring my archery gear. Dante shrugged. It's Koffey, he signed. I nodded. If anything, Koffey was single-minded and predictable. Of course he would want to challenge me. Ha! Just because I was in the slammer for a year doesn't mean that the rust is settled in. It's time to show up and shut up once and for all. I grabbed my archery case, slung it over my shoulder, and stepped out the door. Riley stood at the entrance, her hand raised, about to knock. "What's up, Riles?" I said. "Oh, you're headed out already?" she replied. Behind her, I recognized some of Dante's friends. I heard my brother walk up behind me. "Me and the guys are going to the skate park near Crescent Hill," Riley said. "Maybe you could stop by for a bit after your event." "Sure thing, babe," Dante signed. He leaned forward and his lips met Riley's for a quick kiss. A cacophony of oohs rose from the guys and girls. I practically had to drag my brother away as we got in the car and headed for Kessler Ranch.
Koffey.
She'll be here soon. What do I do? What do I say? Haven't seen Christine since... Dude, get a grip. You got this. I hope this little party of mine goes well. I really want to make an impression on Christine that I'm a changed man, that I've moved on. I'm no longer that insufferable, spoiled, rich college jock with an unhealthy obsession. Oh, fuck. There she is. Christine really stands out in a crowd. Slim, athletic build. Her hair is much longer than I remembered, but still in that shade of azure. Her brother Dante is beside her, eyeing up the hors d'oeuvres that pass by. He quickly scoops up a glass of mimosa. Christine, Dante, welcome. I spread my arms for a hug that casually turns into an extended arm as Christine shakes my hand. So glad you both could make it. Thank you for the invite, Christine said, and took a step back to give me the once-over. You look pretty decent. New look? I'll reply, brushing a hand over my mohawk. Had to keep it short when I served in the Marines. I look badass, right? Right, she said. So, let's cut to the real reason you want me out here. My gear is already waiting in the car by the range. The quicker we get this done, the better. Straight to the point as ever, I say. Very well. Come, walk with me. I can't wait to show you my kid. You have a kid? Dante gestured with his hands. When did you become a dad? Should I be jealous? Christine teased. Why, you offering? I counter.
Ew, no.
You know, the hurt cuts deep when you drop into my personal dialogue like that. But anyway, it's not what you think. This is my kid. That's a 50 cal sniper rifle, Koffey, Christine says. Uh-huh, I reply. Like I said, this baby kills you dead. Get it? I've never missed a single shot during this past hunting trip. Fully optimized with night and thermal vision. The bigger the gun, I see Dante signing, the smaller the pain. You know what? I'm not even gonna finish that translation. Let's get this over with.
Christine.
We're 5 rounds in, and surprisingly, Koffey and I are still evenly matched. First with stationary targets, then at larger distances. I have to admit, though, Koffey does seem to have the greater edge with his new toy. We were just about to switch to the clay pigeons when Dante suddenly got up, a worried look on his face. What? I signal. You hear that? My brother signs wildly. Koffey tilted his head, straining his ears. I had to struggle to keep from laughing. My brother could be so convincing that it was sometimes easy to forget that he was deaf. What? I hear nothing, Koffey says. Then the realization hits him. Ah, very funny. Now that we definitely heard. It came from the grand ballroom back at the ranch. My brother looked confused at our genuine reaction, so I pointed to the building and signed trouble. Trouble or not, Koffey and I weren't going to rush into something potentially dangerous without any protection. I slung my quiver over my shoulder with a few remaining arrows, and Koffey grabbed a spare clip before the 3 of us sprinted for the main building. Koffey and I could hear more people screaming now, furniture being shoved aside, growls of some kind of animal. What was going on? We just stepped onto the paved walkway when a man burst through the doors. He was bleeding from a large wound on his neck. "He bit me!" he shouted, panic and desperation in his eyes. Before he could get any further, something, pounced on the guy and tore into his back. This pasty white creature had sharp claws and fangs, standing on 2 legs. Koffey screamed at the thing to back off, but the creature paid him no mind. Suddenly, the monster, whatever it was, leapt forward. Fangs bared as it lunged at Koffey. Without thinking, I raised my bow, and my arrow found its mark on the thing's neck. It twitched, struggling to pull the arrow free, then its body lay still. Dante went to check on the man. My brother looked back at me and shook his head sadly. Koffey prodded the creature with the barrel of his rifle. "There's no time for that," I yell. "There are people still inside that could use our help." I didn't wait. I couldn't wait. Whether Koffey followed me in or not was his choice. I knew Dante had my 6, but the moment we entered the ballroom, we stood there speechless. People were running and screaming. Some were fighting for their lives against another of that monster I took down earlier. Some even fought other humans? What the hell is happening? The ones intent on killing, more like biting and eating, I should say, looked like, I don't want to say it, but zombies? I was momentarily distracted when I saw one poor soul fall from the balcony with a sickening crunch. I didn't see the zombie man rush me until it was almost too late. I barely got my bow up in time as the guy bit down on the grip. I felt Dante behind me reaching into my quiver, coming around to stab an arrow through the guy's back. Zombie didn't even flinch. He just kept the pressure on. Finally, my brother grabbed the man by the waist and suplexed him off of me. The guy's head hit the ground at an awkward angle where he lay motionless. Koffey finally joins us inside and his eyes are wide in shock, mouth hanging in disbelief. His gaze darts around at the chaos, searching for answers as to what could have started this madness. Then we both see someone we recognize, one of the guys in our old college group. He is leaning heavily against a table, clutching his arm. "Brad," I hear Koffey say. "You okay, man?" At the mention of his name, Brad snapped his head towards Koffey. His lips curled into an angry snarl, blood dripping from his mouth. He shambled towards Koffey, arms outstretched, fingers reaching to rend flesh from bones. Dante and I backed away cautiously. Koffey urged Brad to stop, but the man kept on walking towards him. On instinct, Koffey raised his rifle, hoping the threat would dissuade Brad from advancing, but he did not stop. Brad kept on walking until the barrel pushed up against his chest, and it was all Koffey could do to keep a zombified Brad at bay. "Please, don't make me do this," Koffey pleaded with Brad. "Say you're all right, man, that everything's fine, and I'll put the gun down." Brad? No, no! Koffey slumps to his knees onto the floor, the rifle falling from his hands. He had just killed his best friend, taken his first human life, if there ever was any humanity left in Brad. Before that, all Koffey ever killed were wild boars and pheasants. He just stayed there on the floor, eyes staring at where Brad's body lay several yards away. "Koffey!" I screamed at him. "Koffey, get your ass up! We need to help those that we can!" But he didn't respond. Dante rushed over to his side. However, just as my brother was just about to reach down and lift Koffey back onto his feet, Koffey held up a hand. He looked at Dante and I with an intense, uncharacteristic clarity I'd never seen. Then he got up, lifted the .50 cal rifle to his shoulders, and aimed down the sights at a cluster of people on the opposite end of the room. "Koffey, what are you—"
Thank you. You have been listening to Christine and Dante, a side story taking place during the events of Feed and Undead Horror Season 1, featuring the vocal talents of Kim White as Christine and Wayne Hensley as Koffey. Editing by Kim White. Sound engineering by Anthony Hahn. Until next time, stay safe, my friends.